On today's episode, I take a road trip on some of the most abandoned places in Minnesota. I found this road trip on Only in Your State. I would actually leave the link down below in case you want to take the trip yourself too. But I will warn you, it is an 800-mile trip. I decided to take this trip with my 1988 944 Porsche because the idea of taking a road trip in an old car just seems like a good idea, right? Plus it was almost time to put the car back in storage, so why not go for one last ride? The first location we went to was Fergus Falls Regional Treatment Center. This place was opened up in the late 1800s. It was originally used as a mental health center and only admitted men. They later on started taking in women as well too, which made this the largest mental hospital in Minnesota at one point. The facility was later on turned into a multi-purpose hospital and then eventually closed down in 2005. The second location was actually a lot more difficult than we thought to find, so we found ourselves in a dead end and decided to just skip it for now. After skipping the last stop, we found ourselves in Ely, Minnesota, a small little town where Tanner's Hospital is located. This building was built in the early 1900s, 1901 to be exact, as a way to help a lot of the people working in the mines because the disease rate was so high. Eventually the building was turned into an apartment complex and then abandoned after that. Unfortunately, it was so dark by the time we got here that I couldn't get much footage of this location. And even worse, we needed a place to stay and all the hotels on this side of town were all booked up. We ended up staying in Virginia, Minnesota, where the Richelieu mines were located. We spent the night there thinking maybe the next day we'll give the mines another try again. The Richelieu mine is located in Virginia, Minnesota. It originally started as a shaft mine, but due to unstable terrain, it converted into a pit mine. Richelieu was mostly mined for its iron ore, and was last mined in 1977. Since then, the mine has become more of a park with hiking trails and even a bridge going over it. Due to most of the mine being fenced off, we were off to our next location. And the last stop on my trip is the Taconite Harbor. This harbor actually used to be very busy, and so a city was built around it. As business started leaving the harbor, the city started getting abandoned. Unfortunately for me, this is when the most horrific thing happened to me. My rear passenger brake pads were all worn down from a locked caliper. At this point, it was just a race to get back home before my brake pads completely go away. But due to construction, there was a lot of stop and go traffic on the way back, so this wasn't going to be easy for me at all. Luckily for me though, by the time I got outside the city, the pads were just starting to make the grinding noise with the rotors, and I did eventually make it home okay. Although some might find these places spooky, I actually found them to be very beautiful with nice scenery, good architecture and everything too. Unfortunately, I didn't get to finish the whole trip as planned, but I did get to see a lot of cool things, and maybe I might just finish this trip one of these days.